Okay, everybody, this is how we are going to get our images off of our memory card, and we're just going to start out doing a really simple opening of a file, especially a camera raw file in Photoshop, or the Photoshop pre-processing software, which is also known as Camera Raw. So we're going to take our card, insert it in the slot in the back of your Macs. You're going to see an icon's going to come up like that. If iPhoto pops up, like I've got iPhoto popping up here, we just want to quit out of that. Don't do anything in iPhoto. We don't want to use that for this class. So just quit your photos there. Now make a new folder on your hard drive, or in this case, I'm just going to do it on the desktop for demonstration purposes. You can label it anything. I'm just going to call it homework. So again, that's over here. And then you're going to want to go to your memory card. You kind of have to scroll through or page through, click through a couple of different folders. You're eventually going to find the folder where the images are stored. They're going to be stored, and you're going to know these are the camera raw ones because our Canon users will have a CR2 appendix on the file name. Our Nikon users are going to have the NEH on the file name. So grab all your images. I'm going to only grab 5 here, again, just for demo purposes. And we're going to take those and, whoops, just grab them, highlight them using your mouse, grab them, and put them into that folder. Well, make sure they go in there too, because if you don't drop it on there perfectly, there you go. It's in there. Click on that. Click on this. As I said, get used to pulling your card out then, because we can always kind of forget to take that out at the last moment. So just take that out, drag it to our trash here, and now that's gone. So then, this is my own computer, but at the computer systems at Villa, you do have to do a search. So just click on this magnifying glass here, and Spotlight, just type in Photoshop, and you'll see it comes up with that blue icon with a PS in it. Double click on it, and you'll see window comes up here, and then go back to your folder, and you can just drag, you can either drag all of them or just one at a time into Photoshop like that, and you'll see they'll open up as thumbnails like this. So click on the image you like. You can kind of hit this. If you go over here, you want to start out with white balance. I always look at things just sort of as auto to see what they look like there. You can go daylight. I actually shot these with strobes or flashes, so I know the color balance is going to be right for flashing. Just notice how that background turned pretty much pure white, which that's exactly what it was. Whereas when we were on as shot, notice it's got a little bit of sort of a yellowish red cast to it. So we can clean that up pretty easily. And then exposure is not half bad here. We can just kind of go in the auto exposure, and that'll kind of give us a basis for our sliders. And then we can always kind of tweak that using any one of these sliders. The highlight ones, if you notice the white, as I shift this, it's going to get a little bit lighter and a little bit darker. If I shift the blacks one, you're going to notice like her sneakers and the darker parts on the logo are going to turn a little bit blacker. Our clarity slider is actually going to give contrast in the mid-tones, which in this case is going to be her skin tones. I'm going to totally exaggerate it so you can see where it's going to go. You can see it's in her skin tones and her arms and her face. I'm really not going to add that much. I'm maybe only going to pop about 5 units in there. Vibrance is going to be, again, targeted towards skin tones. So you can see how her face, it just brings out a little bit of color in it. Saturation is more used for, extreme colors more like a fall scenery or something like that. Let's see if I do it on her face, it turns kind of like an oddish yellow color. But if we had a landscape shot here, it would turn the leaves, a much more saturated color. So just play around with those a little bit. If you ever find yourself really stuck and you can't get back to zero, you can always hit default, and again, it'll kind of lead you through there. And then I'm just going to do this randomly on my own. Vibrance, and that kind of puts me where I want to be. Hit open image then. It's going to open that image. And then if you go to our tools here, again, there's the square, which kind of looks like some sort of construction tool. And it's called the crop tool. And I believe also, as a shortcut, you can go Option C on your keyboard. I'm sorry, don't even need Option, just hit C on your keyboard, and that will shortcut you to this option. And then you can see now a square is in the window here that shows me what the crop is going to be. For you guys, I asked you to do a 5-inch by 7-inch crop. So in these windows up here, we're going to input 5 inches by 7 inches, and make sure in this drop down you have W by H by resolution selected, 5 inches by 7 inches, and then we want to add in 300 pixels per inch, which is a really critical number. If you for some reason had a horizontal shot, you can just click these two arrows in the middle, and that's going to switch your orientation to horizontal. Here it's a vertical orientation, so that is appropriate for this image. If you want to crop a little bit, you can grab the corners or the middle and kind of reposition it. And whenever you're ready, just double click in the middle of the image. You can also go to this check mark thing here. That will also start the crop. So I'm just going to double click here. You can see my crop has now been made. If you want to double click on the hands here, you can bring it again full size to the window that you're working in. It doesn't change the crop, it's just enlarging the view of the image, not the image itself. And then last but not least, we're just going to go in and we're going to pull down the drop down menu under File, go to Save As, not Save, Save As, because we're going to write a totally new file. You want to go to your desktop. The window you might encounter, first of all, might look like this. If it does, just click this little downward arrow. And then here's the important part. Pull this menu down. We want to save as a JPEG. Very important. Go to our desktop, or again, your hard drive or whatever external media you have attached to it. Hit New Folder. Call it, I don't know, Dropbox Submission. Hit Create. And then again, double check your format, make sure it's a JPEG, hit Save. Pull your slider all the way to the right, so it's going to give us the maximum size in the file. Probably going to come out to be about 2K. I'm sorry, 2 megabytes. It's right now working on the preview. Once it finishes, we can actually see the size of the file right there. I'm just going to let it do its thing. You don't have to really wait for that. I'm going to hit OK. So that's completely done, and we can go in and File, close out the window, or you can just X out of it like this. And once you've saved it, you don't need to save it again. And if you have more images, you can just go back and repeat that same process on your other files. Now you're going to see on my desktop or wherever I put that folder, my Dropbox submission is going to be there. And it should have a JPEG appendix on it. And that is what you are going to upload to your Dropbox. So good luck with that, and I'll see you towards the middle of class today. So get started on that. If you have any questions, let me know.